Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Marina Ray, and we continue to review the textbook, which is Construction Materials, Methods, and Techniques Building for a Sustainable Future. This video is about chapter 3, and that is the first chapter of part 2, which is the site construction and earthwork. And chapter 3 is about the properties of materials. So what we will learn here is we will have, after reading this chapter, we'll have a basic understanding of key properties, requirements, and related behavior characteristics of typical construction materials. Then I will be able to identify the properties of materials that must be considered when specifying construction products. Also, we'll discuss a few technical aspects of mechanical, thermal, acoustical, and chemical properties, and we'll list the criteria for the selection of environmentally preferable materials. And at the end of the chapter, there is a brief conversation about the concepts of embodied energy and life cycle analysis. So let's begin with the material groups. So we know that there are a few different groups such as metals, then non-metallic, inorganic materials, then polymers, then other materials, and there are phase change materials as well. So definitely refer to the textbook. You will find more information on that. And the next subchapter is the material properties. And there are tons of beautiful graphics sections, elevations, and the isometric drawings showing you how actually the properties of the materials work. So you'll see the stress and strain, then tension, compression, and shear forces, how that is actually affecting the materials. Then when we talk about the mechanical properties, you'll see the some formulas, for example, for stress and strain. You do not have to memorize the formula at this point unless you're dealing with the structural engineers and calculating the load and actually working as a VDC manager with a model that you need to incorporate the structural model into, or so on. But for this just introductory level, there are some diagrams that are easy to understand, and also there are diagrams of stress and strain, as well as the um, tension and compression. So the next subchapter here is the modulus of elasticity, then ductility and hardness, as well as the impact strength, fatigue strength, and permeability of the materials. And there are charts that are very interesting and they're very useful. So please take your time to review those charts and those tables. When we talk about the thermal properties of the materials, we usually talk about thermal conductivity and thermal conductance. And conductivity is the letter K and conductance is C. And then we talk about the composite thermal performance. And then there is the U value that is introduced here, and that's the coefficient of thermal expansion. And there are different values. There is an R value and the U value, which have the invert relation. So U is 1 divided by R, and then R is the opposite. So please make sure that you understand that the higher the R value of the material is, the lower the U value is, and the other way around as well. So when we talk about the changes of state, we know that some of the materials change the state from solid to liquid to gas and back again. And you need to know the melting temperatures of those. Then you need to know the heat capacity, and sometimes it's referred to as thermal mass. So please make sure that you understand those concepts because they will be actually throughout the whole construction process. When we talk about the acoustical properties of the materials, that is critically important when you design and build the multifamily units, especially when you work on the um, uh, the partitions and work on the ceilings and the floors, as well as the theaters and auditoriums where the sound reverberation and other acoustical components are critically important and then need to be calculated properly. Also, the big subchapter here is about the environmentally preferable products, or EPPS. And here they start the conversation about the life cycle analysis, or LCA, which is the procedure when you analyze how much actually the building is going to cost throughout its life, not just the beginning of the construction and how much the building materials cost, but in general, how much that actually will be. Then there is a brief conversation about the embodied energy. And again, we'll be talking about climate, we'll be talking about the greenhouse gas emissions and the sustainability and resilience of our construction. Also, you'll see the renewable materials, you'll see the recycled and post-consumer or post-industrial materials, how important they are, and how actually how much toxic materials we specify and use in the buildings. And you'll get familiar with the VOC, or the volatile organic compounds, as well. So please review the chapter. There are some activities and review questions and key terms and additional resources at the end of actually every chapter. So please take your time to review the textbook. It's quite interesting, and it gives you a general overview of the construction industry. So thank you so much for watching. That was it for our chapter 3, and I will see you in chapter 4.